Are you tired of putting things off and watching your goals collect dust? This video is your wake-up call. It's time to stop procrastinating and start growing, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Whether you're stuck in analysis paralysis or just waiting for the perfect moment, this video will help you take action now, not someday. These are 10 ways to stop procrastinating. The first way is how to actually get rid of your procrastination. And that begins with understanding that procrastination is merely a symptom of a much bigger problem. You see, at its core, procrastination is just delaying what we know we need to do because what we know we need to do is hard. And so instead, we choose to do something that's easy. It could be checking our email, scrolling on social media, or playing another video game. The issue here is that we've become masters at making the things that we don't want to do seem like they're harder than they actually are. What we have to learn how to do is to make the things that we don't want to do feel easier. Number 2, don't wait until you're ready. If you're waiting to be inspired to take action, then you're going to be waiting forever. It's important to understand that motivation and inspiration are not required to take action. Motivation and inspiration are great if you can get them, but oftentimes we try to make them happen. Instead of trying to motivate yourself, set up systems and environments that allow you to take action effortlessly. For example, every morning when I wake up, I immediately check my calendar and look at the first thing that I have on my schedule. From there, I can decide whether or not I want to do that thing based on how I'm feeling. And if the answer is no, I can simply reschedule that task for later in the day. Doing this gives me the freedom to be lazy without having any consequences. Number 3, break it down. Most times the reason why we procrastinate is because we're looking at a really big project or a really big task that seems overwhelming, and so instead, we just completely avoid it. When we break a large project into smaller actionable steps, we make it much more likely that we're going to actually complete the project. For example, if you wanted to write a book, that's a pretty daunting task. But if you break it down to simply just writing 1 page a day, it becomes much more doable. That's how we ended up building this channel. Instead of thinking about starting a YouTube channel, we broke it down into learning how to film, learning how to edit, picking a topic, and coming up with a name. By breaking down a seemingly impossible task into small, digestible steps, you remove the fear associated with that task and make it more likely that you'll actually complete it. 4, use time blocks, not to-do lists. We've all been conditioned by school to use to-do lists. However, to-do lists come with a few problems. First, it's ambiguous. We all know that we can put things on our to-do list that we might not actually be able to complete for whatever reason, and then that makes us feel bad. Second, it focuses on quantity over quality. We focus on crossing items off our to-do list rather than focusing on the quality of work that we're producing. Instead, we should be scheduling our days in advance and blocking out specific times to work on our high-priority tasks. This allows us to focus on high-priority tasks during our most productive hours and low-priority tasks during our non-productive hours. This also reduces the stress associated with planning, because we already know that these tasks are going to get done, even if they don't get done at the time that we originally planned for. Number 5, create friction for distractions. Whatever you're doing right now, there's a good chance that there are some distractions around you. In fact, if you're watching this video right now, then you're clearly distracted. Now, what if we were to make those distractions more difficult to access? What would happen then? Well, I'll tell you what happened to me. When we moved into our new office space, I decided that I was going to remove all distractions from my workspace. I put my phone in the other room and I closed the door. And guess what? I stopped getting distracted by my phone. Why? Because it was hard to access. There was friction. I had to actually get up and walk over to my phone if I wanted to check it. Before, I was just working away, and then suddenly I would remember that I needed to check my phone, and then I would check it for a couple of minutes, and then I would forget what I was working on. By removing those distractions and adding friction, I made it much harder to do those distracting behaviors. 6. Visualize the cost of delay. Every time that you procrastinate, you're essentially betting against yourself. You're betting that you're going to be able to finish the task at hand quickly, efficiently, and with high quality. The reality is that almost never happens. Usually when we procrastinate, we end up doing a rushed job, and we end up being unhappy with the results. And while we may get away with it this one time, eventually it's going to catch up to us. And so we need to visualize the cost of delay. What will happen if we keep delaying this? What will happen if this task falls to the side? How will it affect our relationships, our happiness, our growth? What will happen if we lose the client? If we don't launch that product, how will that affect our income, our future? By visualizing the cost of delay, we can better understand the cost of procrastination and hopefully make the decision to stop procrastinating. Number 7, build a start ritual. It's so much easier to take action when you have a ritual that you follow before you take that action. For example, every morning I wake up and I immediately go to the gym. After the gym, I shower, get dressed, eat breakfast, and then start working. My workday starts at 9 a.m. sharp. The reason why I do this is because I've built a start ritual. I know that once I finish my workout, I'm going to come back home, I'm going to shower, and I'm going to sit down and start working. It's just what I do. It's what I've built myself to do. And so creating a start ritual can help you overcome procrastination because it makes it easier to take that initial piece of action. Number 8, track progress, not perfection. Sometimes when we find ourselves procrastinating, we tend to get really hard on ourselves. We'll say things like, "You're such a failure, you're lazy, you're wasting your life away, you'll never achieve anything." Now, while saying those things may make us feel good momentarily, they're absolutely terrible for our mental health and our motivation. We need to realize that we're human beings, and humans aren't perfect. We make mistakes, we procrastinate, and that's okay. What's not okay is giving up on ourselves and giving up on our potential. The best thing that we can do when we find ourselves procrastinating is to forgive ourselves and move forward. This isn't to say that we shouldn't hold ourselves accountable. Of course we should. But the main goal should be to make progress, not perfection. 9. Surround yourself with momentum. Have you ever noticed that when you're hanging out with friends who are super motivated and super driven, you can't help but be inspired by their energy? Their drive rubs off on you, and you can't help but feel motivated. This is a powerful concept that we can leverage to help us get unstuck. We just need to surround ourselves with people who are further along in the journey that we want to go on. For example, if we want to grow our YouTube channel, we should hang out with other YouTubers. If we want to grow our business, we should hang out with other entrepreneurs. If we want to improve our fitness, we should hang out with people who are already in shape. By surrounding ourselves with people who are further along in the journey that we want to go on, we can leverage their momentum and experience to help us get unstuck. Number 10, reframe procrastination as self-sabotage. One of the biggest breakthroughs that I had when it came to overcoming procrastination was reframing procrastination as self-sabotage. Essentially, when we procrastinate, we're sabotaging ourselves. We're purposely choosing to do something that's easy instead of doing something that's hard. And the reason why we do this is because we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of not being good enough. We're afraid of not being successful. Once we realize that we're the ones sabotaging ourselves, we can start to take steps to fix it. This could mean talking to a therapist, reading books on overcoming self-sabotage, or just simply being more aware of our negative thoughts and beliefs. Whatever it is, the first step is realizing that we're the ones who are holding ourselves back. So there you have it. Those are 10 ways to stop procrastinating and start growing. Remember, procrastination is a symptom of a deeper problem. You can either try to prevent procrastination from happening in the first place by following the first 6 steps that we covered in this video. Or if you do find yourself in a position where you're procrastinating, you can use the last steps to help yourself get unstuck. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, just hit the subscribe buttons below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.